You know those people who can just walk into a room and boom, they own it. People just gravitate towards them, they listen, they connect. Well, I'm here to tell you it's not magic, it's not luck, it is absolutely a skill. And in this explainer, we're going to break down the timeless wisdom from Dale Carnegie's legendary book and show you how to unlock that very same social superpower.
So, what is it? What's the secret sauce that these magnetic people have? It's not just about being outgoing or having a certain personality type. The truth is, influence is an art and it's a science. And the best part? It's something anyone, and I mean anyone, can learn. It's all about understanding a few key principles of how people tick.
So, here's our roadmap. First, we're going to dive into the core psychology behind human connection. Then, I'll give you a simple, powerful formula for building instant rapport. After that, we'll get into the more advanced art of persuasion. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with a 7-day challenge to put all of this into action. All right, let's jump right in with part 1, the psychology of connection. Because look, before you can influence anyone, you have to get what makes them tick. This is the foundation that everything else is built on.
This is it. This is probably the single biggest secret in all of human interaction. We all like to think we're listening intently, but most of the time what's really going on in our head is, what should I say next? Do they like me? How do I sound? Well, guess what? The person you're talking to is thinking the exact same thing. Everyone is the star of their own movie. Once you truly get that, you hold the master key.
And this isn't just a hunch. There's science to back it up. A Harvard study found that a whopping 60% of our conversations are spent talking about ourselves. Why? Because it literally feels good. Our brain's pleasure centers light up when we share things about ourselves. So if you want to be the person who truly connects, you have to consciously flip that switch and turn the spotlight onto them.
I mean, think about one of the most powerful investors in the world, Warren Buffett. You might picture him barking orders and dominating meetings, right? But he does the total opposite. He makes a point of listening first. He asks questions. He wants to understand where other people are coming from. By making people feel heard, he earns their respect and their trust, which is way more powerful than just telling them what to do.
You've probably heard that people make up their mind about you in just a few seconds. Well, it's true. And your expression is the #1 thing they notice. Look at the left. That serious, intense look, it can come across as arrogant or unapproachable. It puts up a wall. But a genuine smile, that creates what psychologists call the hello effect. It instantly signals that you're friendly, you're confident, and you're trustworthy. Who would you rather talk to at a party? It's a no-brainer.
Okay, here's another simple but incredibly powerful tool, using someone's name. To any person, the sound of their own name is the sweetest sound in any language. Brain scans actually show that hearing our name activates the emotional centers of our brain. It's a shortcut to making someone feel seen and important. Charismatic leaders are masters at this. They remember names and they use them. It creates an instant, powerful bond.
So we've got the psychology down, but how do we actually use it? That brings us to part 2. I want to give you a simple, memorable toolkit for winning people over. It's called the ICE formula. It's easy, and believe me, it works.
The formula is simple. I-C-E. I is for showing genuine interest. That leads to C, which is building charisma through a neat little trick called mirroring. And it all wraps up with E, which is all about managing the single most fragile thing in any conversation, the ego. Let's break them down.
First up, I for interest. Your goal here is to flip the script. Stop trying to be the main character and become the interested side character. Ask about their projects, their challenges, their weekend. Be genuinely curious. Here's the crazy part. The less you talk about yourself, the more interesting and memorable they'll find you.
Next, we've got C for charisma. And a huge part of charisma comes from something called the mirroring effect. This is all about building trust on a subconscious level. When you subtly match someone's body language or their tone of voice, you're sending a signal to their brain that says, hey, I'm like you. You can trust me. If they're leaning back and relaxed, you do the same. If they speak quietly, you match their volume. It's not about being a copycat. It's about getting in sync.
This quote from Carnegie is so powerful, and it perfectly sets up the final piece of our formula. It's a reminder that from their own point of view, everyone believes they are justified. No one is the villain in their own story. And that brings us to E.
E stands for ego. And let me be really clear about this.
The moment you criticize someone, you've lost. It doesn't matter how right you are, criticism triggers a defensive reaction. Their ego throws up a giant wall, and your message, no matter how valid, will just bounce right off it. They stop listening and start planning their counterattack. So the golden rule is simple. Never criticize, complain, or condemn.
Okay, so you've built a connection. You've managed the ego. Now we're ready for the advanced stuff in Section 3, the art of subtle persuasion. This isn't about arguing or winning a debate. Real persuasion is about guiding someone to an idea in a way that makes them feel like they came up with it themselves.
So, here are 3 brilliant strategies. First, give people a great reputation to live up to. Second, learn how to plant an idea so the other person thinks it was their own. And third, if you absolutely have to give feedback, use the rule of praising first, then making your suggestion.
Let's start with a really cool technique, one that's literally used by FBI hostage negotiators. It's called yes momentum. The whole idea is to get the other person to say yes to small, undeniable things first. It's a tricky situation, isn't it? Yes. And we both want to find the best solution, right? Yes. Each yes you get builds momentum and lowers their resistance, making it way easier for them to say yes to your bigger request later on.
And please, never forget this one. Our brains are not wired for spreadsheets, they are wired for stories. When Steve Jobs launched the iPhone, he didn't drone on about gigabytes of RAM. He told a story. He said, "Today, we are introducing 3 revolutionary products, an iPod, a phone, and an internet communicator in one device." He sold the dream, not the specs. A good story connects with our emotions, and that makes it up to 22 times more memorable than just listing facts.
Okay, we have covered a lot, but all this theory doesn't mean anything if you don't put it into practice. So for our last section, I'm giving you a challenge, a simple 7-day mission to start turning this knowledge into a real-world habit.
Here it is, your 7-day mission. Each day has just one small, easy action. Day 1, just smile at 5 strangers. Day 2, try to use someone's name 3 times naturally in a conversation. Each step is designed to build on the last. I really want you to do this, so pause here, take a screenshot of this, commit to it for just 1 week, and I guarantee you will see a difference in how people respond to you.
So the biggest takeaway from all of this is pretty simple. The ability to influence, to connect, to lead, it's not something you're born with. It isn't some genetic gift. It's a skill. It's applied psychology, and it is absolutely a superpower that you can learn.
The most successful and influential people in the world live by these principles every single day. And now, you have their playbook. You have the formula. So the only question left is, how are you going to use it?